All right, there you go. One more round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. Today, my partner and I will be presenting our client project, which is an application designed to streamline the volunteer onboarding process for a wonderful organization known as the Royal Family Kids Camp. My name is Jenny.
And I'm Seth.
Our client for this project is Jace Kraft. He is the CTO, excuse me, of Pavewise. Pavewise and the camp director of Royal Family Kids Camp, the Fargo chapter. RFKC is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing programs for children in the foster care system who have faced hardship or trauma. The Fargo RFKC chapter organizes an annual summer camp, which relies on carefully screened volunteers to ensure a safe and positive experience for the children attending the camp.
So some of Jason's problems with his current website include that the current site is built using a third-party customer relationship management software, and the software's features are more suited for larger scale operations, so it can be a bit bulky and it's not optimized. And our solution is built with mobile view in mind. It is simple to expand. You can add locations, pipelines, and forms, and it is developed using technologies that the client is familiar with.
All right, let's take a quick look at the features of this application. For those interested in becoming a volunteer, the process begins with submitting an interest form through our website. Once an interest form has been submitted, administrators can review the application and move it through the screening process pipeline, which includes various stages such as the interview and background check. Administrative users can also manage the application forms themselves with the ability to add or update forms as needed.
So moving on to the demo, here is the home page. I'm currently logged in as a user who wants to become a volunteer named James. And he can either click to go make a donation, or what he wants to do today is go to the new volunteer registration for Fargo. And this form includes inputs like text inputs, drop downs, and multiple choice. And then when we submit the form, we'll be thanked for applying and be told that our application has been received and will be reviewed soon.
Right, so switching over to the administrative side, we will head over to our applicant screening pipeline to begin moving our new applicant through the screening process. We will select the volunteer Fargo pipeline. And as you can see, our new applicant, Alan, has been successfully added to the Fargo pipeline. I am, as the administrator, I am ready to review his application, so I will go ahead and move them to the application review phase. Then by clicking on the card, we can view the form that they have filled out. And after a thorough review, I've determined that Alan is an excellent fit. So now I'm ready to move him back or over to the interview phase. And this this applicant has also expressed interest in becoming a donor for our camp. And so I'm going to manually add him to the donor pipeline to ensure that I follow up with the applicant. So on the donation pipeline, I will click add user and search up Alan. Into our pipeline. Great, so with our applicants successfully added to both our volunteer and our donation pipeline, I will now going to hand it over to Seth, who will walk us through how to edit and manage forms within the application.
So as an admin user, I can also manage the forms. And I decided that one of the questions needs to be changed a little bit on the Fargo volunteer form. And here we're greeted with the different sections that there are. So this translates to pages on the form side. And then if we go to manage the questions on section 3. So we currently have this question, how many hours can you commit each week? I decided that I don't want it to be a drop down. I want the users to be able to put as many hours as they want, just for more freedom. So I switch it over to a text option, save that. You can see that the form has been saved. So in conclusion, users wanting to volunteer can apply via our website. Administrative users can manage application submissions, move applicants through the steps of the volunteer screening process, as well as manage forms for future users.
All right, and so as we wrap up here, I also want to take a moment to thank the people who supported us both through the EDA and through this project. I'm actually going to give this back to Seth so he can mention some of the technical achievements that we finished with.
Yep, so our client Jace requested the use of technologies he was familiar with for easy post handout maintenance. Some of these technologies include Swagger documentation. The photo on the right side is what that looks like on the front end. And then we also used Zustan for state management. And that means it's just a different way to manage data and actions on the front end.
Now, thank you, Seth. We'll get back to the other thank yous. So first, I wanted to thank the incredible staff here at EDA for both pushing us, but also being with us every step of the way of this project. A second, I'd also love to give a huge shout out to our mentor, Jared Krishnan, who took time out of his busy schedule to support us. And finally, thank you so much to our client, Jace, for trusting us with this project and allowing us to contribute to such a meaningful cause. Thank you guys, thank you all for your time and attention.
All right, fantastic work, guys. Oh, well, actually, it's right here for the question. Yeah, Q&A, yes. I do sometimes I think these two are actually more on top of it tonight. So we've got thumbs up meaning as a question. Thumbs up meaning heck yeah, nice job. All right, so questions from the audience. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask? We've got plenty of fillers. All right, so while you're thinking about that, Jacob's got her first question. What do you got?
Tell us about the sustain. Okay, the sustain?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that implementation, yeah.
Okay, I'll refactor the question here. So for context, we use certain technologies in the program, and then a lot of our audience who are alumni will be familiar with Redux. This group had a chance to try something a little different, which is aligned with something we'll be using actually for 2025. And so, yeah, if you could talk a little bit about maybe from a layman's perspective, why this was a challenge early on, and from a technical perspective, what was the difference compared to maybe your solo projects?
So luckily, there were plenty of notes on how to use Sustain, and I actually found it very fun. It did cut down a lot of time working on the front end. It's very easy to learn, and yeah, it just saved a lot of time having to do all the Redux and sagas.
No, I would just agree with Seth. I was a little nervous implementing a new technology kind of in the middle or early on in a project, but it turned out very well. It was kind of an upgraded version of what we've already been using, to kind of manage the data that you see in the front page there.
Got a question from the internet.
All right, this is from an alumni, Adam Troxel. Adam says, congratulations on the project. We can see the hard work you put into this. Are there any features you showed that were a bigger learning experience than you thought they would be?
Oh gosh, okay. I do think there was actually a couple of features. So we were learning a couple of new technologies, as we mentioned. We were working with Seth, and we were also working with that documentation format that's called Swagger. But I think something that was a little more challenging than I expected was to set up that pipeline page that has both the functionality of moving someone via drop down and then additionally having a drag and drop feature. It wasn't terribly challenging, but it was definitely a learning process. We can sure that worked.
Something that I had fun learning to use was something that Jason actually showed us in early on. There's a fork of VS Code called Cursor. I had a lot of fun learning how to use that AI integration with building the application.
Also worth noting, that is the first time we've had group two for a client project, so that I know that can be stressful as far as like delegating who does what. Sort of yes, got a question from the audience.
So sorry.
Thank you. Great job. So you had your solo projects, and this was a client project. What are some of the things you learned about working with a client that you'll take forward into your next projects?
So working solo, obviously you have a whole lot of ideas and not a whole lot of time to implement them. There's a lot less hands. But working with a client gave us a lot more guidance, I feel like, in terms of where we needed to go.
Yeah, I think for us, we were actually really fortunate because we worked with a client that has a ton of technical experience in the CTO. So he was both able to he was able to help us guide us through parts of the process. For instance, our database, which is where you store your information. He was able to go through and make sure that our database information was set up correctly. But going forward, I'm just glad to have the experience because when you're working on your own solo project, you can kind of change things on the fly as you need to. If you find that something kind of isn't working, you can change it. But on a client project, you need to take a different approach, make sure it's worked out the way you planned. There.
Another question from the internet, from GA alumni David Campbell. Great job. How did the mobile view affect development? And did any of problems arise regarding the mobile view?
So to repeat the question for those online, for the David Campbell. David says, great job. Mobile view, any challenges arose along the way, relates to
So throughout the whole design process, the initial steps and working on it for the past 2 weeks, we designed it with mobile view in mind. If I had the choice to, I would have presented it and I would have had everyone look at it on a phone. But yeah, and entire time during development, I had it in mobile view as well. So it was definitely different than working on it on desktop because you have to worry about, when things are too small or how are things going to look when they're all crammed together. But I would say it wasn't too bad. I definitely enjoyed a different experience.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with Seth on that one because we started out with mobile view in mind, and we started the app out with the mobile view and then kind of went to desktop. I feel like that was an easier way to do that, make that work. So I don't think mobile view was a particular challenge for us. There's some of that experience of doing work with both screens.
It's like on the pipeline page, it's like scroll to the right, is that also local?
Yes. So if you guys think back, on that pipeline page, I know I should have left it plugged in, you can scroll through each pipeline, status, which is mobile friendly. And that's also part of the reason why we left that drop down functionality to change somebody's status, in case it's just somebody maybe has a challenge, dragging and dropping somebody's card.
All right, to a final question. I really liked, I thought the pipeline page that was my favorite part. And I'm wondering, was the idea to have that drag and drop functionality to like move people through the pipeline? Was that inspired by any other design, or is that something you came up with, or was that a request from the client?
Yeah, so that was actually a request from Jace, our client. And then we had also done some research. We had looked at different ways other websites had done it. And on mobile view, it just wasn't great to have drag and drop only. So we decided to include that drop down still.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that style of drag and drop with the kind of swim lanes, those statuses is called a kind of Kanban page. So it was, for instance, you're familiar with React there, and how like a drag and drop. Helps you set it up. Not 100% there, but gives you something to work with. Yeah, those inspirations.
All right, thank you so much. I think this concludes our first group. Thank you.